Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And this week we're focusing on the Osage Indian School of the Osage, and it is Activities Director Tom Guinn with us. Thank you, sir, for coming by.
Thank
Appreciate it very much.
You bet.
New studio, so you had to find new directions
right.
this time.
Used to going into Camdenton, and here we are in Lori, which is equally as beautiful, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Lake of the Ozarks. Every place you go is beautiful at the Lake of the Ozarks. So you have one of the busiest jobs anywhere, because you have to keep up with like 500 different sports and activities at the School of the Osage, which is fun, but I'm sure it can wear you out too. And you got a new little baby at home, right?
We do, yeah. My wife and I welcomed our third child in October, so we now have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn, and our house is chaotic, but really exciting, and we're having a lot of fun. And you mentioned as they get older, we'll be doing all the things, just like a lot of other families in our school district, and we'll have them participating in something, and we'll let them follow their heart, and we'll see where it goes.
It's a beautiful thing, man, as if you weren't busy enough. So a great fall season at the School of the Osage, and a lot of different sports, but the biggest sport in the fall is football, and you guys just happen to have a championship team this year. You win the district championship, and those don't come around very often, so that's pretty special.
No, not at all. I know you visit with Shannon pretty often, and I don't know how much he's said or how much you guys have discussed, but if you walk into our gym and you look at the banners, it will tell you how many district championships that we have, how many conference championships we have, and then when you look at the football banner, the last time we had this type of season was in 2014.
Yeah.
So over a decade, and like you just mentioned, it doesn't come around very often, but you can kind of feel the excitement in the air around our school, and it's definitely within our football community, and a lot of people pay attention to football. Like you said, we have a lot going on in the fall, and we don't want to minimize the other things that are happening, but at the same time, we have a huge following in football, whether you look at the youth teams going all the way up into high school. So it's definitely kind of a spotlight right now on our football program, and we're really proud of Shannon and the rest of his staff, because he does have a phenomenal staff. I mean, Friday night we win the district championship, and it was 10:30 when I was leaving the parking lot, and those guys were already working on the next game, and I couldn't tell you when they went home, but I know it was late because they just don't stop, and obviously the results are what they are, and we're excited for them and everything they've accomplished this fall.
Absolutely. Some of the other fall sports include soccer and volleyball, softball, girls golf, girls tennis, and cross country. So let's go through those real quick. How'd soccer do?
Yeah, soccer, we had Logan Long as our head coach, and he was a first-year head coach. He's been in the program for 3 or 4 years now, but it was his first time leading the program. And if you look at wins and losses, it was a little bit of a difficult season, but we've got a junior class returning that has a lot of promise, and I expect a lot out of them going forward. Yeah, they had a good season, but they had a couple tough losses here and there.
And soccer is near and dear to your heart. You actually won state championships as a coach, I think.
Yeah.
In an earlier life, right?
You love to bring that up, and I don't do a good job of talking about myself. Most people don't do a good job and on that note, it's bigger than one person.
Yeah.
And you can, going back to our football program, it's definitely bigger than one person. You look at all the youth coaches putting time in. Shannon mentioned how our current seniors back in 8th grade, they were out on the field in the snow in the off season preparing, and our assistant coach, Jake Evans, put that picture of them up on the board as motivation going into last Friday night's game. So, but a lot of people put a lot of time and energy into that team, and here we are now. But to reference a state championship, it's certainly bigger than myself, because the parents, the community, a lot goes into it.
How was volleyball? How was that program this year?
It was a breakout year for volleyball. Lori Claus has been our head coach for 7 years now. And I'll probably give you more than what you need, but in 99, she's an alum of the program, and we have 2 conference championships in volleyball in the history of the program, and 99 was the last conference championship, and she was on that team.
Wow.
We go for full circle. We won the conference championship again, and Lori was the coach of that program. So we have 2 conference championships. She was part of both of them, so we're really happy for her. And she's invested in the program, and she gives a lot to it because, like I said, she's an alum, and her daughter is now going through the program. She's a sophomore, and we have a junior class there that's really talented. I want to say that they won 20 games last year. They won 20 games again this year.
Wow.
So we've had a really difficult district the past couple of years. Eldon went to the Final Four and beat us in the championship game last year.
Yep.
And then this year we lost to eventual state champion Elias. So, but we do have that class coming back for their senior campaign, and I have really high hopes for that group.
Absolutely. Great year there.
Yeah.
How did softball do?
So softball was right around 500, and we had a new head coach in that program as well, Tony Borgia. But he did a great job, and the enthusiasm that he gives towards softball is fantastic. And we only graduate 3 seniors there.
Wow.
And I think we'll have a lot coming back. And just to kind of show you the growth that they went throughout the program, we had California in the front half of the season, and they beat us by 11 runs. And then we saw them in the district semifinal, and they beat us by 2 runs. And we had them on the road. So we just saw continual growth in the softball program, and I think they'll just carry that into next fall.
Absolutely. That momentum carries on. Girls golf won state championships in the past. How was that team this year?
So yeah, that was the fall of 22 and the fall of 23. We won back-to-back state championships. There's only one girl, India Ruse, that remains from that group.
Yeah.
She was a senior this year, and she, lo and behold, qualified for the state tournament. She was a district medalist and went on to qualify for state. And she did well in the state tournament, but once you get there, the field is just, the competition's at a whole different level. But she had a really good senior year, and Annika Torres had a breakout season as well, and she qualified for state. So we weren't quite state champions again this year, but we'll continue to grow in girls golf also.
That's fantastic. All right. So a lot happening in the fall, a lot coming up in the winter. We'll talk about basketball, which is just getting started, and wrestling and all that stuff when we come back on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We are focusing on the Indian School of the Osage. It is Activities Director Tom Guinn with us. So we move into the winter season, and the biggest sport of the winter season is basketball. For most schools, in the fall it's football. There's a lot of other things going on, but a lot of the focus is on these main sports. You've got coaches coming back. I think they were both new last season. So it's year 2 for your boys and girls basketball coaches at School of the Osage.
Yeah, so Jeff Henshaw is our head boys coach. He had his first season last year.
Good season.
Yeah, they did. They had a 20-win season. We got plugged into a district with Bolivar, and we fell just short. But that game came down to the wire, and it didn't play out the way we wanted it to. But obviously, they had a heck of a season, and certainly for a first-year head coach, I'm sure he was excited. Then David Volkart is our head girls coach, and he had his first season last year. And I already mentioned that junior class from the volleyball team. A lot of those same girls play basketball as well, and so he's got that group coming in, and I know they're eager to get started. Our girls' jamboree is tonight. They'll go to Crocker and get an opportunity there. Jamborees are great because they don't really count for something, but they don't go on your record.
Right.
And so
yeah.
you can really just kind of experiment a little bit without it necessarily, being a mark on your record.
Yeah.
But and then the boys jamboree is tomorrow night, and they'll go to Camdenton. So we played Camdenton in the regular season last year. I think you guys covered that.
We
game.
do that game every year on Lake TV.
Yeah, and so again, we'll go there for jamboree. I don't think the environment will be quite the same in a jamboree, but it's still nice for those guys to step on and be on the same court together. But I mean, generally, not every school in AD will get that break in between the fall sports season and the winter sports season. The past couple of years, I have had the luxury of that little breather between fall sports and winter sports. This year we don't, because obviously, as you mentioned, football is still playing while basketball has already started practicing. So Jeff kind of has his hands full. Jeff Henshaw, our boys basketball coach, kind of has his hands full right now because we have several boys who play both football and basketball. So obviously those guys are still dialed in on what football is doing.
Yeah.
And so Jeff is practicing and training and preparing without that group of kids. And I don't want to put more pressure on his shoulders, but it is nice for people to recognize that he's kind of gearing up without his full roster.
Yeah.
And that's a real challenge when you're implementing and planning and putting in plays in place. And so he's got his hands full right now, but I'm sure he's still congratulatory towards the football team, and he'll get his kids back when he does.
Absolutely. Another big sport in the winter is wrestling, right? And it's not just boys. You got the girls wrestling now too, I think, right?
Yeah. I think we've talked about that a little bit in the past. I come and visit you.
Yeah.
It seems like once a year or so, and I would say that our girls wrestling program now has definitely taken on an identity of their own. We're going to have 10 to 12 wrestlers this year, which is more than we've ever had. And hopefully we can start to be more competitive with the Lebanons of the world. Lebanon girls wrestling is extremely reputable, which is relatively local as well. And, we're just trying to meet those expectations. And it gets getting more and more popular. And we're starting to garner that interest at School of the Osage as well.
That's good. And I think the winter is also big for band and cheer. Those activities are pretty busy during the winter.
Well, I'm glad you brought up band. Mr. Kyle, he's been our band director for over 20 years now, which is quite a run. And this year he's been recognized and chosen. Our wind ensemble has been chosen to go perform at the MMEA conference event on January 9th. And so as polished as Mr. Kyle is, he's more on edge, I would say. Not on edge, that's not appropriate, but he's definitely on point even more than he is in the past, because he's preparing that group on top of, we just finished marching season. He does the halftime shows at our football games, and he just had his Veterans Day assembly. And our band and our fine arts departments are reputable. They're competitive, and we appreciate all they do. And he just has that extra performance this year that he's preparing for. So, and he impacts a lot of kids and families. So, we're proud of our band, certainly.
Absolutely. And the thing with band and chorus is there are so many different aspects to it, right? It's not just one band. You might have 5 bands or 5 different choirs, and you have to figure out what they're all doing and where they're all going, and that's got to be kind of crazy busy.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about that is when I decided to be an athletic director, one of the things that they don't necessarily broadcast or inform you of is that you're also responsible for mission-sanctioned activities. And I've embraced that, but I'm also still learning, because I think most athletic coaches, while they appreciate fine arts, they don't necessarily understand all of the idiosyncrasies of the different instruments and the pieces that you mentioned and the different groups.
Oh, so many great things happening at School of the Osage. Thank you for coming in and filling us in on all that. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
All right, there he is, Tom Guinn, Activities Director, School of the Osage. Thank you, sir, and thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
You're watching Lake TV. Don't miss out on your favorite show. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.